Greetings, friends, and welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Alban, which is autumn equinox, and that's going to happen in 2 days on the 22nd. So, like, what is it? Like, what does that even mean? There are a lot of different names for it. I believe witchcraft and Wicca maybe call it Mabon. I've always known it as Alban. If you ask any Druid, they will tell you what they do, and I guarantee you'll find lots of different ways that people celebrate the solstices, the equinoxes, and the cross quarters, or what we call the wheel of the year. So I'm going to link below some resources for you. First, I'm going to link a really great article by Druid's Garden that talks a little bit about how we celebrate Alban today, because we don't live in, most of us don't live in a farming environment, and how we can turn to receptivity instead. I think it's a very interesting article that talks about sort of practice and what our lives are like today in 2022. I'm also going to provide a link to Obad's ritual ceremony that they've done for Alban. I'm an independent Druid, and so I don't do those rituals. Because I'm a Christian, so I have Christian rituals that I do for Christian holidays. I don't necessarily do Druid rituals that much. So, but that doesn't mean that what they do is not valid or interesting. I do enjoy watching them. I often don't get to watch them while they're live. I usually watch them later. But it's interesting, and I always learn something, and it's always edifying in some way. So I will link that below as well. So for me, for those of you who are not familiar with the Eightfold Wheel, or the Wheel of the Year, the Druids use that Wheel of the Year, witches, Wicca, they also use the Wheel of the Year, and all of the ceremonies are slightly different. But something important to note is that the festivals, what we call the festivals, the 8 festivals, they don't last just one day. They're usually like a selection of days. And so the one that everybody knows is Halloween, which we call Samhain, and that's coming up, of course, in October. And that is the new year in the Druid circle. Like, that's when the earth, the earth cycle phases out and a new cycle begins. So that's like the new year. And that is when the veil is thinnest between the living and the dead. And so we've commercialized it a lot, but it's actually a very solemn and reverent holiday. For those of us who celebrate it, either in Druidry or in other practices. I'm actually, people often, think that I'm like really, really into Halloween. I'm actually really not into commercial Halloween. I've never been, because to me it is a solemn holiday, and one for us to honor our ancestors. And, the costume part is part of the tradition, but it's not the only thing there. So, most of the eightfold, all of the eightfold celebrations have some sort of tradition or something that goes with it, and almost all of them include fire. So in the Druid tradition, some Druids only celebrate the equinoxes and the solstices. They don't celebrate the cross quarters. Some do, but there are 4, 2 equinoxes, 2 solstices. They celebrate those, and then they might add in the cross quarters as well. Almost all of them include some kind of fire, some kind of ritual fire. So campfire, bonfire, something like that. Carrying the fire, doing something with fire. And all of them include some kind of food rituals. So Alban, which is the second harvest festival, we had one 6 weeks ago. This second harvest is just, a way for us to celebrate the plenty that we have in our life. And, in agricultural communities, this would really be the storing of things in preparation for winter, right? We don't live in that kind of a society. We can just go to Giant and get what we need. But it's great to just pause and be thankful to, for all the farmers that bring us tasty apples, and the people who bring us wheat so that we can make bread. And it's a way to pause and just be thankful for all that we have. I do a little bit of my own medicine making, because I try to use all natural. So, I'm using herbs and spices and things like that. And I don't do canning, but I'd like to get into canning, but I'm not much of a cook. and I can't think of anything that I would can that I would use consistently, but others do. But my family makes apple butter in October, which has a tradition that goes back over 150 years, with a large kettle, which makes my kids think that we are witches, and we are not. So it's just a time to be grateful and thankful for all the things that that we have in our life. And so I am wishing all of you a very blessed Alban Alphid, and check out the links below. Please like and subscribe this video so that other new druids or people interested in Druidry can learn that it's not all about hocus pocus. And it's, you know, there are some pretty legit normal people out here. Oh, one thing I don't want to forget to tell you is that on the equinox, definitely go outside, take off your shoes, and stand in the earth for 15 minutes. Medical schools, like legit medical schools, have done studies that earthing actually does help the human body. Connecting with the earth actually helps us medicinally, and it's something free and easy that you can do on your own. Just go outside and stand on the earth, and you know, try to do that for 15 minutes. You can walk around. It's great if you stand still and just absorb the earth's great, amazing energy. And that's something wonderful to do at the equinox when there's balance between light and dark. So definitely do that. And I'll actually leave an article below about the medical power of earthing. So I'm wishing you all well. I'm wishing you all the very best in light and love. And blessed Alban Alphid. Be well. Bye-bye.